Okay, welcome to episode number 12 of the Sprawl Podcast. In less than 4 months now? Wait, no, since October. No, November, December, January. This is actually our 2.5 month of recording. How do you feel?
Congratulations.
How do you feel on that achievement?
How do I feel like that? Well, you don't really have to do anything. You just have an active channel, right? So it's not that much. It's not that big of an accomplishment.
2.5 months of basically daily uploads. It's pretty good.
Yeah. That's
good, you know?
It's a team effort. I feel good.
You know what's funny? We actually, I think we have some shame today because in our video with Nasrat, you know how we called him the Marco Polo?
Yeah.
You know, us being from Afghanistan, we said that the national animal was a Marco Polo. It's actually a snow leopard, and we got called out on it from like 4 different guys. But that's out of the week. Also the Marco Polo is a sheep. You were right. So it's not a sheep. I know.
Yeah. Is it actually a snow leopard?
I think it is, man. I searched for national animal and it showed snow leopard.
I searched national bird and it was a golden eagle.
That's what I saw too. But you can't call it.
Then like afterwards, I don't think like calling Nasrat the golden eagle would fit. Then people automatically think of Khabib.
Yeah. I think the snow leopard. I think
he's golden because he's from Afghanistan. He's golden.
I think the historical like if you call him like the Marco Polo, I think it's a pretty cool name.
Marco Polo?
Because the conqueror and because of the sheep, bro. I think that's a pretty cool name.
The explorer.
I might have to say it for myself, you know. Marco Polo.
What?
That's a pretty fire name.
I don't know. Well, maybe when if we eventually interview him, we'll ask him. We'll give him like a list of nicknames, and we'll see if we can get Bruce Buffer to say Nasrat Marco Polo.
Does he have one yet or no?
I don't know. I've never noticed one. Have you noticed one?
No, I haven't noticed any from him either. Just Nasrat.
I think Bruce is too busy.
I think Bruce is too busy doing his cameos on his site, charging $300.
Why throwing shade, man?
I'm not throwing no shade, yo. I was thinking of getting one of those like for someone's birthday, and then I saw how much it cost. It cost like $300 for a cameo. I'm like, what the hell is this? And
Bruce.
And you can't even say UFC or Octagon or anything. It has to be something that's not copyrighted. Yeah, he works for them.
Why would you go to the highest priced guys? So, like, go to the lower ones.
Listen. So you have an option, okay? Would you rather be called out by like by some random thing, like promoter, or would you rather be introduced by Bruce Buffer for your birthday?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you know the person and you know like the stuff that they've seen in the past, they could have seen like some random show, and then you do that. Like, there's most likely somebody from that show that's on Cameo as well. Maybe it's like an MTV reality show or something like that. You have to be smart with your money. This guy is going for $300 for Bruce Buffer.
Bruce Buffer, man, a bad guy. What a name
he's a legend, but like $300. LeVar Ball was like what, 150 or something like that.
That's a lot too. That's
Imagine a lot. 150
for like 10 seconds. Next level.
No, the video that I saw, it was more than 10 seconds.
Even then, bro, $150, bro, he's getting paid nice, and you got to believe he's at least like getting one of those a week. So.
Yeah, at least. I remember I saw that Cameo actually takes like a big percentage of it though. Like, I think it's like 75-25 or it's like 70-30 or something stupid like that.
For who though?
The person gets the majority. The person gets the majority, of course.
I was gonna say.
No, that would be super stupid. No, I'm saying, the creator gets 70 and the company gets 30. You know what? I've always like realized. I have a computer right in front of me. I can search all this stuff, but I just don't want to. We could have found out the national bird. We could have found out the national animal of Afghanistan. We can look at Bruce. We could look at Bruce. Bruce Wayne. What? Not Bruce Wayne. Bruce Buffer.
Bruce Wade.
Goddamn Batman.
Ali Abdulaziz in this week's, okay? A fight with GSP.
Where's Noah?
Where's Noah?
Where's Noah?
A fight with GSP would get Khabib up, in quotation marks. Okay, honestly, I think if GSP is serious about coming back to fight, I could see it happening if he continued. That would get Khabib up. But he beat the bad word out of Connor. He did everything he wanted to do. He beat him in the striking department. He beat him in the wrestling department, the grappling department. He broke his soul and he took his will. And that is from MMA Mania again.
Yeah, so that was the quote. So it kind of sounded like you're saying your own opinion for a second until I realized that you were reading off.
That was a quote, yeah.
Ali Abdulaziz, man, that guy, he takes his chances whenever he gets them to talk about Conor.
Yo, this guy, like he went onto the Mike Tyson podcast, right? I was watching it recently. This guy doesn't hold stuff back, and he keeps talking about the same story with Khabib and Artem, man, over and over again. He went on the Helwani show. He almost got in a fight with Ariel. This guy's a sick guy. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a sick guy. I just think that he's just stops sometimes, man. Sometimes he just talks too much. But
he's a promoter. He's a manager. He's Ali Abdulaziz. You know, like he feels a certain type of way after these guys said and did to him. Like, imagine being called a terrorist snitch by Conor.
No comment on that. No comment.
And then saying, "Hey, where's Noah?"
Yeah,
imagine that.
Could you imagine saying that's that guy? That's ridiculous, huh?
That's deep. He called him a snitch because he knows that Ali Abdulaziz has some shady background, and he knows that Ali Abdulaziz is not exactly the person that everybody thinks he is, or like his past. So he made people like myself actually go back and search it up.
Look at the background, it's crazy.
If anybody wants to do that, go ahead on your own. But
I recommend not doing it. But
it's a decorated path. It's not as it's not that bad, right? But
it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
It's not that bad. It's just, I could see his situation where he was just caught up in the wrong situation, and he's such a determined person that he's trying to just achieve his goals, and maybe that was one of the ways where he's like, you know what, this is the easiest way for me to make money and to get to the States and all that kind of stuff, so let me just do it. And then when he got caught, then he's like, okay, well, how am I gonna get out of this situation? Okay, I can do this. Okay, now I'm out of the situation. How do I get involved with the MMA community and so on and so forth? I think he just
he did well for himself. No, you can't lie about that. But I think aside from Ali Abdulaziz, let's go back to the main topic, which is Khabib coming back.
Bro, I love Ali Abdulaziz. Let's keep talking about him.
He's a sick guy, but I think a fight with GSP would get Khabib up. I mean, we've talked about this, I want to say to the point of maybe 10 times now, but they keep teasing it,
11.
but it won't happen, man. I don't see Khabib coming back. I see him coming back. If he really is coming back, I see him coming back next year, not this year for sure. A fight with GSP would bring him back, but I think he probably wants more than that. I think if he came back, it would have to be for like a nice run. I think that run would probably have GSP, Conor. I want to say Tony, but I don't know what Tony's even doing anymore.
I don't know what are you reading? Like, what do you think?
What do you mean, what am I reading?
Conor, Khabib has said that he has no interest in fighting Conor anymore.
But that's a money fight though.
No, he doesn't. He only $100 million. Then we have a problem.
$100 million, yeah, but like it might happen with the thing with Conor and Khabib, man. It might get $100 million. If Conor becomes champion, right? There's a very big chance that it would bring Khabib back, and there'd be a nice payday. Very nice payday.
I don't know. It's not $100 million though. It's not anything close to that. Remember we did that video of that podcast about going over like calculating.
Last month.
Yeah. It's not $100 million. I think he's closer to the 10 to 30 region, and then maybe through sponsorships and stuff like that, maybe a little bit higher. But 100 million is not happening. I think also when he says 100 million, it's figure of speech, right? He's not literally meaning $100 million. He means just a lot more than what he was making before. But I think just like how we did it in our analytical video, we talked about Khabib will return in 2021. I think he's going to have the opportunity to come back. It will be for a lot of money, but it won't be as much as the Conor situation.
And do you think he vacates this upcoming month?
January 20th. January 20th is the day that Russia will cry. Do you know why?
Vacates?
because he's gonna vacate. I
don't think so, man.
I think the UFC has an opportunity right after talking to Khabib to be like, you know what, this is what we're gonna do. We decided that we just announced that Khabib has vacated his title, and we have a guy in Dustin Poirier who just fought for the title and then lost, but then faced a top 5 contender and Dan Hooker and beat him. Then you have Conor, who has only lost to Khabib in the division, who came back and beat Donald Cerrone in less than a minute.
But can they force him to vacate or no? Well, they can't force him.
I don't think they'll force him to vacate. I think they'll have the conversation because up until this point, there hasn't been a real conversation between Dana and Khabib in terms of what is going to happen in the next year or what's going to happen for his future.
I'm not too sure, but is Conor Poirier for the interim belt or no? Or
no, there's no news on that yet. It's just a regular fight.
I don't know, man. I think Conor's gonna win, and then I think we're gonna see the summer of Khabib and Conor again, man. With those two fighting. I
don't know what Khabib gains out of it. If he wanted to keep his belt, then he would tell Dana, "Hey, I want to keep my belt and I want to fight somebody in."
How much would a GSP fight generate? Do you think?
Pay-per-view wise?
Yes, and revenue wise.
I don't know what revenue. You can just correlate it to pay-per-view buys. This year is a little bit weird because you have a fight in Kamaru Usman and Jorge Masvidal on short notice, getting 1.4 million.
1.4 million for that fight?
Yeah, you have Conor versus Don Cerrone, which got like 1.5 or 1.4 around that region as well.
How high was Khabib and Conor? Like when they fought?
It was 2.4 or 2.6 around there, I forget.
And you're telling me Jorge and Usman got 1.4? I don't believe that.
What, you think it's more?
No, I think it's less. What?
What?
I don't see them getting 1.4.
Because it was Fight Island. It's the pandemic. It was like the first pay-per-view, I believe.
1.4 for those two? I mean, listen, I love Jorge.
I don't think it was actually.
But 1.4 is a lot of buys, man.
It is. That's what's being reported. It does make sense from all the. It's not a cap. It makes sense from all the videos and all the stuff.
Don't trust Uncle Dana White, man. Don't trust him.
It's not only from Dana. I think it was from other sources too.
Yeah,
it's possible. It's possible. So I think Khabib and GSP does over 1 million for sure. I would say it's not over 2 million.
I would say 2 million. Sorry? What the heck?
No,
honestly,
no. It's not over 2 million. It's not over 2 million. I say
if a Jorge
like
and Usman fight can get 1.4, I think GSP Khabib could get like 2.5, 2.4.
Yeah. Okay. You're neglecting a couple things for the Jorge fight. Jorge fight was Jorge Masvidal is still on his rocket ship has a rocket strapped to his back.
Not anymore, but yeah, he was. Yeah.
No, hold on. Yeah, relax. So he has the rocket strapped to his back. He's been calling for a title fight, gets refused, denied by the UFC because of money that he's asking for. Right? They just don't want to give him the money that he wants. And then on short notice, 6 days, he falls. The Kamaru Usman's opponent, Gilbert Burns, falls through. And he comes in on 6 days notice where he basically can't train. All he has to do is just cut weight. He cuts weight for 6 days and fights Kamaru Usman on the first Fight Island card where
it was pretty legendary.
We're all in a pandemic. It's the summertime. Nobody has anything to do. So what do they go to is that they go and buy a pay-per-view. So there's some things that are special that I don't think you could replicate for other pay-per-views.
Isn't it also higher because you couldn't really go to a thing, like a restaurant or anything, right? Bars or anything?
I guess, yeah. So like you can attribute it like 100, 200,000. I don't know how much you want to do, but I think Khabib and GSP does over 1 million, not over 2 million. Somewhere in that range. That's a big range. I would say a little bit more than that's a million thing. That's a million range, but maybe around 1.2 to 1.8 around that range. Let's make it a little smaller for you.
If they build it well, if we're talking about maybe like in the summer, if that happened, with the crowd and everything, that could get a lot.
Ramadan, you love crowds, man. Stop with this crowd.
Bro, I'm telling you, by the summer, crowds will be there in full capacity.
Oh my god, you have the vision.
I have the vision.
So Ramadan is in May, so he finishes up in June, starts training. I don't know if he wants just a 1 month camp to get ready for GSP.
I think August.
So that's not summer. What happened to your vision? What happened to your
August
vision?
Is summer. Yes, August.
August is not summer. August is fall.
What do you mean it's not summer? That's my birthday, bro. What do you mean it's not summer? Of course it's big summer, bro.
So somebody's lying to you because August is. Unless you're talking like August 3rd or August 4th. God. Yeah, then you got something, but I don't know. Again, look, this is something else that we can search right now. Computer's in front of me, but I refuse to. This is just my knowledge,
It's banter right now. It's banter. Okay, Dana White. I don't think anyone should want to see Nick Diaz fight. Okay, everything that I see from Nick Diaz doesn't look like Nick Diaz wants to or is ready to compete in the sport. White said in an interview with the Schmo, this sport, even John Jones, as good as John Jones is, you have to be 100% mentally, physically, and emotionally ready to train, be ready for this, and fight. And I just don't think, I don't think anyone would want to see Nick Diaz fight. Nick Diaz has been in a lot of wars. He's accomplished a lot of great things in his career. He's made a lot of money. He's obviously super famous. He's gotten everything you could hope to get out of fighting. I just don't know why, when I see his Instagram, he would want to come back. That's a lot of shade, man, on Mr. Nick Diaz. But, this kind of hurts my feelings because I made that promo for Nick Diaz and Jorge Masvidal. And I don't think this fight's going to happen now after what Dana White said. So it's kind of tough.
So Dana White and Nick Diaz never had the best relationship. It's not as bad as a relationship that he has with Nate Diaz, his brother. But Nick Diaz has not been the best company man when it comes to the UFC.
Good image. Good image.
I remember instances with when Nick was supposed to be fighting against George. He didn't show up for one of the press conferences. And because he didn't show up for the press conference, he was taken out of that fight because he didn't show up to a press conference. And then shortly later, GSP tore his ACL or something in his knee. So I guess the fight would have never happened if it was actually still scheduled and Nick Diaz was still in the fight. But they never had a good relationship. You can see Dana does this a lot, where he talks about like these fighters coming back, or he talks about fighters that are no longer in the UFC. He talks about them a little bit with the lack of respect. He doesn't respect the
age.
The legend.
Nick Diaz is 37.
What? Well, I wasn't even talking about his age.
I know, but look at his age though. He's 37.
Look at his age, man. I know he's 37. He's 37 years old. His last fight was against Anderson Silva back in January 30th, 2015. He actually lost. Yeah, that's 5 years ago. So 6 years. Yeah. He lost a decision, but that's the fight where Anderson Silva popped for some sort of. He did it for something. I forget what it was. I think the reason why Anderson Silva used those PEDs, whatever it may be, was because of his aftermath from breaking his leg. I think he used other reasons why. I think he used like intimate reasons.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember their situation, but that was a fight. So right now it's a no contest listed. If you look it up, but Nick Diaz did lose that.
Yeah, but Dana White has a good point, man. Like with Nick Diaz, he's fought a lot of guys, and he has been through like so many wars. Him and Nate Diaz, right? Like, do you really want to see him come back? He's a lot of damage.
He's 26-9 is his record. There's guys that are older and have more fights than him in the UFC. So
but if you can prevent
it, he's fought that many times, but he's not any worse than all these other guys. Like Overeem has fought so much more. Israel probably has more bouts than Nick Diaz does because Israel fought.
Yeah, but he barely gets touched though.
Izzy's got knocked out before. What are you talking about? He's got hit.
No, yeah, he's hit, but like his whole style is based on not being hit. Whereas with Nick Diaz and like Nate Diaz, they just rush you, right? So
no, they don't.
Of course they do.
Him
and Nate Diaz have probably the most strikes absorbed. They have so many strikes absorbed. But
listen, if you want to go analytical, we can go through each fight and you can see like how many strikes they absorbed. My point is he's not as punch drunk, or he is not as weathered as
strong word, man. It's a strong word, man. Why are you saying that? Punch drunk? Relax.
No, because that's what people are alluding to, right? They're saying
I know. But relax on that, man. That's
I'm not saying he is. I'm saying people think that he is. So he doesn't absorb. He hasn't absorbed that much damage. He's had 5 or 6 years now. Yeah, almost 6 years, because it was January 31st, 2015. He has 6 years to recover. He hasn't taken any punches. He hasn't done anything. If he wants to fight 1 time or 2 times in the next year or so, I don't think it's gonna cause him to get like Alzheimer's or something like that, or like whatever damage is done. But I don't think he's at a point where he's at a breaking point where if he takes the next punch, he's done. Like there's guys. What is the guy? The legend. Brendan Shaw beat him too. Oh my God! Left high kick. What's his name?
Left high
Croatian
kick?
guy. Mirko Krokop. Mirko Krokop was fighting all the way up until 2019 in February, and he's 46 now. So that was 2 years ago. This guy was fighting when he was 44. Do you know how many fights this guy has? He's 38 and 11. Right?
Holy.
This guy's been knocked out 6 times. He's probably fought more prior as well.
If you're not built like a Yoel Romero, man, honestly, like you shouldn't fight past 40. That's the way I see it.
God. So what about Dan Henderson?
Dan Henderson, same to him.
Dan Henderson is the exact opposite built of Yoel Romero.
I know.
Yoel Romero is like all this like huge muscles and like built like a brick, and then you have Dan Henderson, who is built like a brick as well, but he's like completely lean. Like he's not Yoel Romero, and he almost won a championship when he was in his late 40s or like mid 40s.
Yeah. So speaking of Nick Diaz, if he does come back, based on what you're saying, even though I highly doubt he'll come back, who do you think he'll fight?
There's many options for him. I don't know if like putting him into a fight where he's like potentially go for a title. I don't think that makes sense. So keep him away from guys like Darren Till. Keep him away from guys. Oh, Darren Till's not 170.
Darren Till.
Leon Edwards. Keep him away from him. Keep him away from Hamzat.
Why Hamzat? That would be a good fight. Hamzat comes there. I think
I just got an idea. I have idea.
What's the idea?
Nick Diaz versus Condit 2. Plus.
I don't think so. That's not a money fight, bro. You know what we need? We need a fight versus Jorge Masvidal. Jorge versus Nick Diaz. They have that history.
That's the easy. That's
match easy, but that's a nice money. That's a nice money, bro. And you have that in New York City, man. Oof. We're talking about
full crowd.
Full crowd, nice venue, everything, bro. In the MSG. Oh my God.
Yeah. I wasn't going for the easy answer. I was looking for like something that's not Jorge Masvidal, but Jorge Masvidal is possible.
It's inevitable, man. It's gonna happen. They have the history with him and Nick Diaz and everything, and then those interviews and those promos, you know, everything.
Condit and Diaz have a history as well. Like they had there's a whole controversy when they first had that fight, where people thought Nick Diaz actually beat Condit via decision. I forget the meme. It's like 1-2-5 Diaz. I think what it was. Right, but he lost that fight. That fight was the same one where Condit was like on his bicycle, bro. He was just running away the entire fight. Nick Diaz was visibly mad, and it was for the interim to welterweight title. I think like the hardcore fans will remember Nick Diaz versus Condit. And I mean, you don't have to be that hardcore because it wasn't that long ago. But that's a potential matchup. They're both at similar points in their career where they're past their prime. They aren't in the contention for the title. They wouldn't be able to hang with, say, like the Leon Edwards or the Kamaru Usmans, the Colby Covingtons. They would have like a tough time. They could obviously win.
How Ben Askren?
Leave Ben Askren alone. He's retired. He's out there trying to fight
and Napoleon Dynamite. Napoleon died. Yo, honestly, I'm looking at the ages right now. I had no idea that Jorge was older than Nate Diaz and only 1 year younger than Nick Diaz. I had no idea.
Jorge Masvidal has been in the game for a long time. I remember watching interviews on the MMA Hour back in the day where Jorge would come on in person and talk to Ariel, and I'll be like, yo, I like this guy. This guy's pretty cool. And I would watch his fights, but then he would lose like close decisions. And I'm like,
he had a resurgence.
He didn't pan out. Like it is what it is. But then all of a sudden he had that epiphany. He went to the jungle, and he came back a new man.
And then that flash knockout, and then the rest is history.
Sometimes I think you should go to the jungle sometime too.
Me too. I would love to go to the jungle, but there's no jungle nearby.
Dude, some of these takes you got, bro, it's got me questioning.
Got me questioning. John Jones is ready to go big against either Stipe Miocic or Francis Ngannou. Okay? I'll be ready for either of them, Jones told Bleacher Report in a recent interview. Both fights are extremely challenging. Stipe, he's the greatest heavyweight of all time. He has all the stats and records to prove that. And then Francis is just a freak when it comes to his knockout power, and he's improving constantly. Both fights are gigantic challenges, but that's what I'm here for at this stage of my career, to go big and see what I've got. And that was taken from actually a different website this time, and that website is bloodyelbow.com.
What was your favorite website?
MMA Mania.
MMA Mania, bro. Shout out to them.
Shout out to them, man. Giving us all these good topics.
So John Jones, go big. So we've talked about it in many podcasts.
Too many videos. Too many videos.
What are you talking about? Don't, man.
And not only podcasts.
Watch all
not only podcasts. Analysis videos too.
Yeah, hey, people like the analysis videos.
And they love them.
They're not. There's not too many comments on them, but the people are watching them. So we talked about how John Jones, he physically and verbally has communicated to like the MMA world that he's not gonna go down anymore. He's done with light heavyweight. He's done with any other division other than the heavyweight division. The way that he does that vocally is by like stuff like this. He's said this stuff in the past, like especially when he vacated his title after beating Dominic Reyes, was it? He also did it by physically by starting to power lift. He started to put on more muscle, and the difference is that when he first was doing all this powerlifting and all this training, he wasn't making an effort, or not that I know of, to actually train MMA with that new body. He was simply just going through the motions as if he was that 205 fighter, trying to fight. He was using a 205 body to fight. Sorry, 200. Okay, he's using a heavyweight body to fight as a 205, basically.
And then you cut down, right?
As opposed to now, where he's a heavyweight fighter, training and fighting like a heavyweight fighter.
But will he maintain that speed and agility with all his powerlifting? Do you think so? Personally,
he's never been the fastest guy though. Like that was not his forte. His thing was so many tools, able to dictate the pace of the fight, range, and just weather you, right, with volume. He's never the guy where you're like, oh shoot, bro, you can't avoid his hands.
Yeah, if we go off what DC said, right, in that one interview where he's like, John Jones, like he might be at light heavyweight, but he's as strong as guys at heavyweight, right? So if we go,
yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah,
he's like 6'4", and now he's. I remember. Oh no, I'm gonna sneeze. So,
what's the walk-around weight?
He did. There was an Instagram post where he was like training or something. He said he was 240.
Holy, 240 pounds.
Take that with a grain of salt. Say, he's like 235.
Oh, you're saying it's less.
Yeah, but when guys say they're 240, especially when they're like trying to bulk up, you got to give them some room for
it's
like
a big cap.
Like, you know what I mean? Like if you're trying to lose weight and you go to the scale, you see 193, you're gonna be like, yo, bro, I'm like 190, 192, around that.
I'm like 180.
and then when you're trying to like gain weight, and you're like 202 pounds, you're like, yeah, I'm like 205, 206, around there.
210.
Right?
At 10 pounds.
So,
oh man,
say he's like 235-ish, around that range. That's still a big guy, and it seems like he's taking his sweet time to get that big, but also fight and train and get used to that body. So he's waiting. I think he's waiting for the Stipe and Francis fight to happen, and it sounds like Dana White is also confirming like he's gonna fight in the heavyweight division next, and basically he's gonna fight the winner of Stipe versus Francis.
Have you also seen his training? If you go on the X Crazy channel, you actually see his training. His training was he's incorporating so much of the gymnastics. No man, of the gymnastics. He's doing so much of like he's doing heavy powerlifting, right? But this guy will he's doing work with rings and everything now, right? So
yeah, the GSP training style. Approach, but a little bit different. The question is does he who do you think he wants to face? Does he want to face Stipe?
Stipe. Listen, man, I don't want to say it actually because we're gonna get commented, we're gonna get disliked and called casuals, but I'd rather see John Jones versus Stipe, at least for John Jones' sake, because if you face Francis Ngannou, you're gonna get you're gonna get mauled, to be honest.
Sometimes like what happens with me as well is I get so so connected, not connected, engraved. I don't know if that's a word, right? I can't think of the word.
Maybe it is. It's a word now.
So, in these guys and their records, like you don't want them to get beat, right? You're like, please don't let them get beat. Don't break the streak because you feel like it's something greater than the fighter themselves, right?
Shout out Undertaker.
But if he faces Francis, there's a big chance that he gets his streak broken. Same with Stipe, but I know what you mean with Francis. For me, the more interesting is Francis, right? Because there's that chance that Francis throws a punch and connects. Even though when Francis throws, he like, oh my god, he never throws feints. Like I don't know if I've ever seen a feint ever from this guy.
Yo, why are you hating on my guy?
No, throw a feint. What do you mean? Like
check left hooks too.
Do something, right?
I think that with Stipe, listen, I love Stipe Miocic, okay, and I don't want to get bombarded by these Croatians on YouTube who are roasting me, but this guy is way too stiff for John Jones. I don't think he can stand in front of John Jones.
No, he has really good boxing. He can come in and out very very well. So just go back to the Francis conversation. I think the Francis one has the opportunity to be much more exciting, but it could go like this where John Jones dodges those punches coming at him. He keeps him at range. He uses his leg kicks. He closes his distance, takes him down, and then finishes him via TKO on the floor. Gasses him up.
That's a bold prediction.
That could be a big a possible outcome. Because
but what happens if it's on the feet though?
No, I'm saying it could go either way. Where it could be like the most boring fight where he just keeps it at
staring
distance.
contest.
Yeah, no staring. This is a little bit different staring contest because John Jones will keep it at distance. He will take his opportunity to close the distance, clinch, take him down, and then finish him on the feet. Now, John Jones has not really done that in a very long time against his other opponents. He usually just sticks and moves and keeps that distance and wins the decision. But there's a chance that heavyweight John Jones is completely different because heavyweight John Jones is already saying, "Yo, watch out for my double leg." That could be a message, just like that could be wolf tickets. He could just be saying that for the sake of saying that, or there could be some legitimate reasons for that. He could be like, you know what? If I'm facing Francis, I'm taking him down. If I'm facing Stipe, I'm standing up. I'm just gonna outpoint Stipe, avoid his shots, poke him in the eye a couple times, and that's it.
Yeah, nice.
Are you drinking something?
Yeah, sorry, man. I was drinking a nice glass of tea. But to go on what you said, I'll give you my prediction. Okay, so I think
For what?
between Francis and Stipe, first of all, because we've answered this question many times now. I think Francis will win.
Okay, dislike.
I think it'll be dislike.
Dislike.
I think Francis dislike comment.
I'm just
blog,
your
report.
YouTube video. I'm just your YouTube video right now. I'm just
dislike.
Keep talking.
Dislike. I think Francis will beat Stipe. I think it's going to end in the first or second round. Please do not dislike. I think after that, I think we'll see Francis and John Jones. And I think that if it stays on the feet, I think Francis will win. And I really want to see if John Jones is capable of taking Francis down. Personally,
I think he is.
I don't see it happening. I don't know. I don't see it happening.
You're thinking?
I think Francis has.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, if you've seen like his past few fights, I think that like Francis actually, if you look at his takedown defense, it's improved. No, the past few fights.
He's actually like doing more, but that doesn't mean that he can stop a takedown from a well accomplished wrestler like John Jones, both MMA and like collegiate level. Like John Jones is not gonna get stopped because a guy learned how to do a sprawl in the year or a year and a half.
Sprawl in a year.
When you see,
says that, man?
when you see Francis defend against takedowns and stuff like that, he's a lot more active than he was before. But you get a sense where he's not calm in those situations where he doesn't.
Who's a better wrestler, Stipe or John Jones?
Ooh, John Jones.
You think John Jones?
Really use wrestling too often.
Yeah. How about DC and John Jones?
DC. Tell these guys.
DC
is a much better wrestler. He almost made it to the Olympics. I think he was like a whatever. I don't know the situation, but his accomplishments for being a wrestler is much higher than John Jones. But even DC didn't even take him down. He took him down once, and then Stipe stood up right away. So I still think there's I would take John Jones to beat both of them, regardless of who he faced, Stipe or Francis. For spectacle, Francis would be a lot more exciting, especially the build-up. Imagine how many videos we could make about that. How many?
A lot, man.
How many?
I think 5. I think at least 5.
5?
At least 5.
I was thinking like 500.
500?
Yeah,
why
not?
Who's making these?
No comment.
No comment.
Stipe is also very intriguing for like the heavyweight discussion. If Stipe goes in there and beats John Jones, then I think there's no more discussion. No more C-level Kane discussions. No more Verdum discussions.
C-level Kane.
No more Randy Couture, Brock Lesnar. Like none of those guys. Like it's Stipe.
I'm telling you, listen, keep Brock Lesnar for Islam Makhachev, okay? You cannot talk about Brock Lesnar without talking about Islam Makhachev. So
okay, well, what does he do? What does Islam do to Brock?
Islam Makhachev takes him down and shows his high level wrestling, and then wins by, I want to say, a triangle choke. Easy.
Okay, so let Islam get through mini Brock Lesnar, Drew Dober at in March, and let's see what happens because Drew Dober is gonna come forward, and he's gonna test
do bad things.
He's gonna test Islam.
Yeah.